Hey guys, I just wanted to shoot a little video to try to teach you about nutrition labels. So when we're counting macros, we are going to be looking for the 3 macronutrients. So fat, carbohydrate, and protein. And you should be able to find that on every nutrition label pretty easily. The first thing I want to bring attention to though is the actual labeling on most food items, and that it can be misleading or enticing, and you need to just be aware so that you can prove or dispute whatever they might claim on the front. So I think a great thing to use is peanut butter, and I will at first just have you read here that it says 7 grams of protein per serving, and that can be pretty enticing, thinking that I usually need to increase my protein. So let's just see if that checks out as a good protein source considering the amount of calories this item has. So what you'll want to do is flip her around and take a look at your actual nutrition label. The first thing that you want to look at would be the serving size. So for this, it's 2 tablespoons. With foods like this that are a little bit higher calorie, I do recommend weighing them and not just using like a measuring spoon. The reason being is that you can easily overestimate what a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons would be. And the weight of that, like on a food scale, can't really lie. So people are usually surprised by what 2 tablespoons of peanut butter looks like. Oftentimes it's not enough to cover even your English muffin. So it is eye-opening, but easily you could overestimate your calories by 2 or 3 times what you actually think you're intaking. So that's just a little tip there. So you've looked at your serving size, 2 tablespoons or 33 grams, and you're gonna look at your total calories for that amount. So this is 190 calories. Then you'll wanna look for your macronutrients, so your fat, your protein, and your carbohydrate. So the first one is total fat, is 16 grams of fat for that 2 tablespoons. Then you're gonna look for your total carbohydrates, 8 grams of total carbs, and your grams of protein are 7. So this food, for the amount of calories, really isn't that much protein. And a little trick that I have that I think helps for me to weed out what might be a good source of protein for the calories. I use this a lot of times for protein bars. When you go to the aisles, there's lots of things that say high protein, this bar is great. But how do you know that for the calories it's worthwhile? What I think is a great trick is that you take your protein number and you pretend like you're adding a 0 to it, and then you're comparing it to the calories. So you want it to be equal or more than the calories to have a good source of protein. So with that trick, we can say, okay, the protein is 7. I'm gonna pretend like it's 70, and I'm going to compare that to 190. 70 is way less than 190. So this is not a great source of protein for the calories. But it's not to say that this is a bad food. I don't think that any foods are bad. It's just to say that you need to look at this as not necessarily a protein source, maybe more of a fat source, and you can fit it in moderation.